Hello guys, welcome to the JavaScript tutorial. Previously we have discussed data types, operators, control flow, function, hoisting, temporal dead zone, these, constructor function, class. Today we'll discuss about OOPs in JavaScript. What is mean of OOP? The mean of OOP is object-oriented programming. It is basically a programming paradigm, means a programming pattern which is based on the idea of classes and objects. Basically, it helps the computer program to structure and organize the code. बस इसका कॉन्सेप्ट यही है जो प्रोग्रामिंग कोड है उसको हम लोग कैसे स्ट्रक्चर एंड कैसे उसको अच्छे से लिख सकते हैं. That's why this concept came. So it has the 4 pillars. One is encapsulation, second is abstraction, third is inheritance, fourth is polymorphism. हम लोग एक के बाद एक डिस्कशन करेंगे with the examples. Let's go. So first we will discuss about encapsulation. इसका मतलब क्या होगा? So it is basically binding the data or the methods into a single unit, जो class हो गया, to protect these things from the outside access. तो इसमें हम लोग क्या करते हैं basically? If we want to protect something from the outside, then we can keep it in a single unit so that the outside can access it. This mechanism is called encapsulation. This means hiding some field to be accessed from the outside. Okay, I'm taking one example like the class employee. Here, creating the constructor and I'm passing name and age. This dot name equals to name, this dot age equals to age. Basically I'm trying to create a class employee. In here I'll just try to protect one data that is like employee ID, because that should be, so this employee ID should not be accessible from outside. In encapsulation mechanism we can use the getter and setter method to set the private variable value. We can do that. So I'm just simply like set employee ID, then ID is passing this dot employee ID is to ID. Okay. So in here I'm writing another function, open get. So if this dot name, no, this is just employee ID is to ID, this ID will be passed. Then we can say chalo the employee enter inside. Employee can enter inside the office. Otherwise I'm just giving one thing that is like contact with security person. Now I'll just create one object, new employee. Okay. So what happened? I just created a class employee. In here I declared the employee ID just by default to 1, and it's a protected so that this employee ID can't be accessed from the outside. And I just created two method, open get and the set employee ID. Open get basically it checks if the employee ID is correct or not, and set employee ID basically it's set the value of the employee ID. So now I just created one object m, and I'm checking with the m dot open get. So let's see what will happen. So it's showing contact with the security person because I didn't set any employee ID, and I should keep something, this dot name. Yeah. So in here I'm giving a v29. Okay, you can see what happens here. So I'll just create the object. I want to see the object value. It's just showing the value name and age. It's fine. Now I want to set the ID. Okay, let's see now it will open the gate or not. So with the open the gate, I'll just pass the ID and the name, and object dot name. Okay, see it is showing employee can enter inside the office. If I'll give something different ID, let's see what will happen. No, it is saying contact with the security person. So employee ID, we can't access it. Okay, I'll try to access employee ID. I can't access it. See, if I'll do dot, the employee ID is not visible here. If I try to access forcefully, see what will happen. It will throw an error like private field this must be declared in an enclosing class. So this mechanism behaves like an encapsulation. So now we'll discuss about abstraction. Abstraction means it hiding the complexity of a function or a method from the user. It is basically when you just create a class, and in class we can define the methods and function. So after that, when you just create an object of that class, the abstraction is saying I'll take care of the class. You just do instantiate of the class. So it basically representing the essential features and hiding the unnecessary details. That's all. So now we'll check what I'm trying to say with the example. If the employee left the company and he will come to the company again without ID, but the previous ID is there, so in that way he can enter the office. But we should restrict the employee, right? So I'm writing one method, uh, validate employee. Okay, and I'm just creating one employee list. Employee list. Okay, so I'm checking if that ID is validate or not. Is if it is validate, then return true. Otherwise, return false. Okay. Now this validate employee method I'll call here. I will pass this ID. Okay. And I'll be have the other option remove ID, where I can delete the employee if they left the company. Okay. When you do set the things, then we'll store the ID to the object. Okay. Let's see. Contact this security person because I have done these changes. Now I'm giving the same. it is showing validate is employee is not defined because I didn't use this keyword here. Okay, now I'll see what happened. Still employee list is not defined. Okay, employee list means in here it will come this dot employee list. Okay, see, employee can enter inside the office. Now I'm deleting that employee ID. Like, okay, I don't need it because he left the company. M dot remove ID. Okay, now see what will happen. See, it is showing contact with the security person because that employee ID has been removed from the employee list. Abstraction means here we are hiding validated employee method from outside, right? So in the open gate, we just trying to check this method, and based on this condition, we are allowing the employee or not. So this is basically we are just representing the essential features. So for that, this abstraction concept came. Okay. Now we'll discuss about inheritance. Inheritance means uh, the child class can inherit property from the parent class. So by inheriting from parent class, we avoid having to rewrite the same code, and we can also save the memory. And if you do some changes in the parent class, it automatically inherit the changes to the child class. Let's see with some examples. I'm just creating another class, that is the child class, like government employee. Extends. So इसका मतलब हो गया एम्प्लॉय का जो पब्लिक डेटा फील्ड और कोई भी मेथड है, we can access in this class, in this government employee class. So for that we have to use extend keyword, and in the constructor we can use the super keyword to initialize values like name and age. हम लोग यहीं पे क्या कर रहे थे, हम लोग यहीं पे नेम और एज भेज रहे थे कंस्ट्रक्टर के अंदर. सो इट वाज इनिशियलाइज नेम एंड एज. हम लोग यहीं पे क्या करेंगे, हम लोग यहीं पे फिर से उस कोड को नहीं लिखेंगे. विल जस्ट कॉल द सुपर कीवर्ड. सुपर का मतलब क्या हो गया, सिर्फ एक क्लिक ऑन द सुपर, इट विल गो टू हियर. सो in super we can pass this name and age. So we'll create an government employee object, government employee with Rahul, then okay, I'll see what I can get. I'm just commenting out these things. So we can see we just created an object G from the government employee class with the name and age, right? And if you write here G dot, then you can see open gate, age, name, remove ID, set employee ID. These are available because we just extends government employee from employee class. So employee is the parent class, government employee is the child class. Okay. We can create the another class also, IT employee. Extends employee constructor, then super age, We can add extra property in constructor also, like this dot type equals to type. You can pass this type to here. Okay. Well, type means full time. Okay. Oh no, sorry. This dot type is not here. Type here. See, we can see the G object, it has three property right now. Okay. So that is basically inheritance. Now we'll discuss about the polymorphism. Polymorphism means it has many forms. And in here we'll discuss about two things. One is like method overloading and one is the method overriding. Method overriding means we can override the method of parent class in child class. तो यही पे हम लोग मान लो एक मेथड लिख रहे हैं, ठीक है, लाइक print working hours. By default, just console.log this dot name should work for 70 hours. Okay. Now I can override this method in this government employee. Okay. In here I'm just consoling this dot name is this dot type employee worked for 5 hours. Okay. So we have declared the print working hours in the parent class, and in the child class I just override it. You can see right now. If I do call g dot print working hours, let's see what happens. We can see that Rahul is a full-time employee, worked for 5 hours. But if you simply call m dot printing hours, what will happen? So okay, OB should work for 70 hours. ठीक है. अब IT एम्प्लॉय का क्या होगा? इसमें भी हम लोग प्रिंटिंग वर्क आवर्स डाल दें. ठीक है. Now I'm passing on extra parameters. So this is basically called method overloading. Means, so this print working hours and this print working hours, we can see we are adding extra features or parameter to the method. So that's why it's called method overloading. So IT employee. So now I'm just creating one IT object passing Sachin into 5 t dot, now I'm passing like 100. So what happened? See, the by default it's showing Ovi should work for 70 hours. So for the government employee, it's showing Rahul is full-time employee work for 5 hours. But for the IT employee, I just pass these hours. So it's basically I am just adding extra hours parameter to this method. That's why it's a overloading method. Okay. And in here it's showing okay, such an employee work for 100 hours. Basically, the polymorphism is useful because we don't have to unnecessarily copy the same thing again and again. We can reuse the sum function from a super or parent class, and we can just modify that particular method. So why we need these four pillars? We need it because to clear and understable the code or organize the code, it is easy to extend, it is easy to maintain. Thank you for watching the video. If you do like, please subscribe the channel. We'll meet in the next session.